Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about routers and routing, but in a way that hopefully makes sense. There's not going to be any scary commands, no configurations yet, but it's just the big picture. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll understand what a router actually does, how traffic moves from one network to another, why routing exists in the first place, and just the basic idea behind static and dynamic routing. So let's get started. What is a router? At its core, a router is a device that moves traffic from one network to another. If you have perhaps your home network or the company network or any source of internet, a router is basically what connects those networks together. And unlike a switch, which works inside a network, a router's job is to move traffic between networks. And whenever data needs to go somewhere outside its current network, the router steps in and says, where does this need to go next? So the easiest way to understand routing is to think about it as directions. Imagine you're driving from one city to another. You don't just teleport there. You go from one road to another road through intersections, and one step at a time, you'll reach your destination. That's basically how routing works. Every router only cares about the next step, not the full journey. So instead of saying, go from Melbourne to Sydney in one go, a router says, send this traffic to that router, then that router decides the next step, and so on. This is called hop by hop routing. Each router is like a traffic officer or a GPS. It looks at the destination, checks its routing table, and sends the traffic in the right direction. Now, when a packet arrives at a router, the router asks one simple question. Where is this packet trying to go? Routing is destination based. The router doesn't care where the packet came from, who sent it, or why. It only cares about the destination IP address. Then it looks inside something called a routing table and says, if the destination is this network, send it out this interface. If it doesn't know where to send it, the packet gets dropped. And that's why routing information is so important. Now, here's something beginners often miss, and it's very important. Routing must work in both directions. If router A knows how to reach network B, but router B doesn't know how to reach network A, traffic might go one way, but it'll never come back. That breaks applications, breaks websites, and just everything. So whenever you design routing, you always think, can traffic get there and back? No return path? Basically equals no communication. Now, let's talk about static routing. Static routing is when you manually tell the router where to send traffic. You're basically saying, if you want to reach this network, send traffic to this next hop. Nothing automatic, nothing dynamic. It only does exactly what you configure. Now, you may be asking, when is static routing good? It works in small networks, simple designs, lab environments, and basically when you want full control of the routing system. Now, the downsides are you must configure routes manually. You must do it on both sides. If something fails, the router won't know automatically. If a link goes down and the route is still there, the router will keep sending traffic into a black hole. That's why static routing doesn't scale very well. And this is where dynamic routing protocols come in. Dynamic routing protocols allow routers to talk to each other, share routing information, automatically update routes, adapt when something changes. And instead of you being the traffic officer, the routing protocol does the work for you. Routers exchange updates, keep lives and metrics to decide, and which path is best to take, which path is backup, and how to reroute traffic if something fails. And that's what gives it scalability and this fast recovery and automatic failover. It makes it more viable. That's basically what gives us scalability, fast recovery, and automatic failover. And that's why dynamic routing is why the internet works at all. Now, you might be wondering which, in most cases, is going to be better, static or dynamic. Well, the real answer is neither. Neither is better. They're both used for different reasons. Static routing is meant for control and simplicity, while dynamic routing is meant for scalability and automation. In real networks, you often use both, and the key is knowing when to use static and when to use dynamic and how they work together. This video was just a foundation. If you're learning networking, CCNA, or just want to understand how the internet works, this series will walk you through it step by step. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.